Why does this always happen? Why does this always happen to me? Hello everyone, my name is Jennilee and I am back with more of the Not So Berry Challenge Cheaters Edition. We are now into the Rose generation. Rosalie is a child now, and we are trying to get her socializing with other kids around the world and trying to bring up her social aspiration, because we gave her the social butterfly aspiration in hopes that it will lead into gaining more charisma as she gets older. Let me bring up the Rose Generation rules. Here they are. So right now she has one of her traits. She has the hot-headed trait. When she becomes a teen, I think is when I'm going to give her the romantic trait. And she will have the serial romantic aspiration. So we can kind of get that rolling when she becomes a teen. But that's a little ways off. And then all the other stuff like having only one child, mastering politician career, all that's going to happen later. So let's get into the game and get Rosalie going.
2 hours later.
Hello everyone. Editing Jennilee here. And this is like 2 hours later. And I just loaded the 2 hours of video that I recorded. And there's gameplay, there's game sounds, but I'm talking to myself because my audio wasn't on. So here is a series of what happened. I'll show the video and I'll just kind of voice it over and just give you the main points, because I really don't want to do any more real recording tonight. So yeah, I did that. Hashtag pro content creator. So this is early in the day on Sunday after everyone woke up, and I'm just realizing that children can use a mirror to practice speech and get their social skill up. That was not something I knew previously. I knew teens and adults could do it, but not children. So that was an interesting discovery. I have Wintergreen working on her nerd brain aspiration, and I believe after this I sent June to a skill class for parenting. Other than that, there wasn't anything major that happened. Well, yet. So here we are. Rosalie has been practicing her speech for about an hour, and she just leveled up in social skill. And I thought it was a little strange. It seemed like it was going a little fast. And then I watched her for a minute, and I noticed that her skill bar was going up pretty fast. Though I didn't realize that anything was really wrong just yet. But now that I'm looking back at the video footage, the skill's going up really fast, and normally when you get to level 6 it doesn't go that fast. But I think I was a little distracted at this point. And yeah, see, now she's level 7 again, and I didn't know what was going on. Okay, and here is where her friend comes over, and I just realized that she mastered the social skill not even 2 hours after I had her doing that. And look at the confused look on my face right there. But I'm insisting on Pierce Delegato, her friend, coming in, and I think I need to investigate something. So at this point, I realized what was wrong. It was some settings in my MC Command Center that had gotten broken. So now I have the family and Pierce going to Mount Komorebi to participate in the Festival of Youth. I'd never done that before, so I thought it might be fun to try. So here we are at the Festival of Youth in Mount Komorebi. And I believe at this point I just had Rosalie meet a bunch of other kids. I had her talk with some other kids. I had her spend some time with Pierce. I did have her take a selfie with Yama-chan and dance with Yama-chan. And then I had her experiment a little bit on one of the science tables. She did find, I think, like 3 void critters. It's kind of like Pokemon Go. It's kind of interesting. And her parents eventually really had to have their needs fixed. So eventually we did leave just as the festival was ending. Yeah, see, she's saying, "Hey, can I take a selfie with you?" And she takes a selfie with Yama-chan. Which, this moment I thought was kind of adorable, as you can see by the stupid grin on my face. And this is where I discovered the void critter thing down there in the corner. And I didn't really know what that was at first, because I'd never done the Festival of Youth in the past. I hadn't really done much with Mount Komorebi at all, so it was interesting. So here we are back home again. We did have our friend Pierce come home with us, and we are playing on the pirate ship playground out here, while our dad, I believe, is making some dinner in the house. Yeah, he's making some food, and he's eating it. And then I believe, yeah, because it's over there. So we had tofu tacos, and we call everybody to the meal, and so we all have a nice dinner inside before we all go to bed, and Pierce decides to go home. So it was around here when everybody was either in bed or just got out of bed, looks like, with June. I decided to make a club for Rosalie and her friends. I named it Student Council. I added various things. I made it invite only because I wanted to be able to control who joined and who didn't. And I made the club hangout their house, which I still never changed the name of. I set up the club activities, which basically involves doing homework, being nice to each other, playing on the little pirate ship playground thing, stuff like that. I also I put as the do's and the don'ts, as the things that we weren't supposed to do is no mischief, no being mean, no fighting, things like that. And I added some of the kids that she knows and set everything up so that it would be right. And then at the end is when I did the club requirements here, so that only children can join the club. And I will change that when she ages up to a teen and make it so only teens can join the club. And then I'll probably age up all her friends if they don't age up on their own. But I am planning ahead. I am trying to make student council so that they can all get together. And yes, I took the idea of the name from Kelsey Dangerous. And this is the point on Monday night when I realized that Wintergreen had actually completed the Nerd Brain aspiration. I must have missed the notification where she'd gotten it, so I changed it to Fabulously Wealthy, and she had already completed 2 levels of that. So she's actually on the last level of the Fabulously Wealthy aspiration. And I think it's also this point when I realized that she hadn't used any of her points. Oh, no, not yet. Then I had her explore in space, which she did after she stopped finally dancing. So I sent her off to space, and I'll be reading those as they come up. I think I sped through some of this. So off she goes into the rocket, and I'll try to read off some of these things as we go. Strange turn of events. After a perilous journey to the deepest, darkest edges of space and time, Wintergreen has ricocheted off the edge of time itself and is now retracing her sojourn in reverse. The rocket is backing into a debris field. What happened here? Wreckage. Reversing back through the flotsam, the rocket drifts like a time salmon against the relentless river of causality until it is surrounded by wreckage. What happened here? And so I picked Scan for Life. Got data. The results show that the ship once belonged to the Boronians, creatures of pure boron. This useful scientific data, as very little is known of the creatures of the 5th element. Scans continue now that the results have been seen and the rocket backs out of the wreck. What happened just before? And I had a little bit of uncertainty here, but I eventually picked exited hyperdrive. Zoom. That safest way to travel. As the drives activate, a flash of light flips the time polarity. Wintergreen is going the right way again and needs to keep the time stream intact. What should she do? And so I picked the same answer as last time, because now I'm reversing it. And I remembered to pick scan for life here, back to the wreck, and got data again. Right, that's what happened. Wintergreen scans the wreck, gaining invaluable scientific knowledge, avoiding the time edge. She safely makes her way home. And this is probably the most dramatic moment in the entire game. And here I'm saying, that this is a scenario that I hadn't seen before, because I have done the explore space a lot. But this is the most dramatic moment of the game because she gets abducted by aliens and I freak out, which you can probably see. But yeah, I was WTF and laughing and face palming. And yeah, that was still a big WTF moment for sure. And here's where Wintergreen returns from being abducted, and I pretty much send her up to bed. And I also am wondering internally whether or not the aliens did anything to her to impregnate her because of the settings that I have in MC Command Center. I decide to check on Rosalie, and Tuesday begins because Rosalie's gotta go to the bathroom. Also, here is where I realize that I have spent none of the aspiration points for Wintergreen, and so I just purchase a bunch of stuff like free services, heat-proof, ice-proof, etc., etc. So here's later on the day, Tuesday, I decided to start a bit of drama with June, because if you recall, in one of the last episodes, we caught June flirting with this person, Alexia, and for the sake of story, for the sake of drama, just for fun, because June kind of gets on my nerves lately, I decided that he's going to have a little side thing with Alexia. So I had him come out here because Wintergreen's mom was inside the house having fun. And I'm going to have him come out here and invite Alexia over. She does come over, and let's see, where is she? Yep. I'm watching for her arrival here. Also, I checked to see if the bills were paid, because apparently they didn't get paid the first time I asked them to. Yep, here comes Alexia. Okay, I've set them up with a bunch of social interactions, and I'm waiting for them to take place, but Alexia decided to glitch through the wall. But here we go. They're talking, they're flirting, a bunch of things are going on. This is where it starts. So after a bit of socialization, they're flirting, they're exchanging numbers, they're standing in Rosalie's room while they do it, which is kind of weird, but who am I to judge? Oh right, I'm the player, I'm God, so I can basically judge if I want to. I do have them flirt some more, set up a bunch of these interactions, which eventually leads to him learning that she's single, out of Rosalie's room to have their first kiss right in front of Wintergreen's mom, because that's not awkward at all. Also, I kind of tried to see if I could get them to woohoo, but that didn't work. Here comes the first kiss, right? Yeah, here we go. Here comes the first kiss. Oh, okay, so we actually didn't do it in front of Poppy. She started to go downstairs. I guess I waited for that. I don't know, this was just over 2 hours ago, y'all. Let's see. Let's wait for the kiss, because I do want the kiss to be in the video. Yep, there he goes. He kissed her. It's about at this point when I begin to wonder if Wintergreen is pregnant. So I go into MC Command Center and see, sure enough, she is pregnant with a male baby, possibly with the aliens, because I never had her and June try for a baby, so whoops. So now I have to try to figure out how to do that. And here I tried to say, take a pregnancy test, but she knows that she's pregnant, or at least she will very soon. And she's treating it like a regular pregnancy and not like a OMG, what's happening to me, like the regular human Sims do when they get impregnated by an alien Sim. So that's interesting. So yes, it's about here where I look at Wintergreen and realize that she is extremely pregnant. And I looked at her buff to see if she was confused about feeling pregnant like most human Sims are, and she was not. It wasn't until she got up, because, like, she is massive. Look at that. She is extremely pregnant right now. But she's gonna clean up the dishes. Yeah, see, she's not even in her second trimester. But she's OMG happy pregnant rather than I'm confused about what's happening in my body. Uh, very interesting, because maybe it's because Wintergreen is an alien herself. Oh, and this happened with June, where have this scenario. June has received a note from an anonymous source with a threat. If he doesn't throw the case, sensitive information about June's past will be released to the public. If he loses the case, justice will have failed and a criminal will go free. But if the damaging information is released, June's career could be at risk. Should June get ahead of it and reveal his past themselves, or should he throw the case to keep his secrets safe? I had kind of an internal debate with myself about whether he should do that, because I thought it might impact the story of him being a cheater. Thinking that he might throw the case to keep his affair a secret, but then, because he wouldn't care about the criminal going free. But then I decided that he would rather probably get that out into the open and beg Rosalie's forgiveness rather than throwing the case. So, as I'm talking through this here on the screen that you can't actually hear me, as all these things that I'm working out in my own brain, and apparently I talk a lot, especially when I don't know that I'm actually not speaking into the microphone. Oy vey. I did, looks like, no, I said no, he's not gonna throw the case. He revealed his secrets. There we go. So he got money. It was a tough decision, but it felt great to finally let go of his secrets. June's firm isn't pleased, but he still has his job. On a brighter note, June's been approached by a publisher interested in a book about the recent events. June happily accepts the offer along with a nice simoleon advance to help him get started. I did check his fame, but because I have him staying out of the spotlight, his fame was actually not affected. Here, I decided to call a student council gathering because Rosalie seemed a little down. She's got a couple of sad and tense buffs there. So I called the student council. All the kids came pretty quickly. I had some of them do their homework together. They played on the pirate playground together. And then June made some mac and cheese, and they all had mac and cheese together. It was a beautiful thing. And here's where I was looking for the sound of someone aging up, and I was searching through the house, and I realized that Rosie, the kitty, aged up. So she is now an adult cat, which kind of took me by surprise, because you can't really check to see how many days they have until they age up. And now we finally are at after midnight Thursday morning. I have June going to bed and everybody's asleep. Well, there you have it, folks. I voiced over the entire thing because I goofed up the sound, and it wasn't until after I had recorded it, started editing it, that I realized I had just totally goofed. So I did my best. There were a few crazy things that happened, so I wanted to make sure that I captured all of that. I did eventually take the game sound out because trying to deal with all the different tracks was getting to be a bit much, so I apologize for that. But sometimes you just gotta try to make lemonade from lemons. And you try, and it doesn't quite turn out like lemonade, but you drink it anyway because reasons. I don't know, y'all. It's after midnight. I am extremely tired, and I need to get this finished up and go to bed. I hope you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I am going to be leaving very soon to go home to see my family. So I have to get something up, and I really don't have time to re-record this. I hope this is okay. We'll be coming back with more of this next week, and I hope you guys all have a good Thanksgiving. Stay safe, stay sane as much as you can. I know we'll all be around family. This is not easy. But I hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Eat plenty of food, stay safe, and I will see you next Saturday.